Hey you guys, I am back with another video. It is September the 1st of 2024, and you know what that is. Fall is coming up really soon, but today's video is about my book review from Debbie McComber that I got at the library. I finished up two. The first one, it is Window on the Bay. I given this a 3 stars. And my thoughts on this is pretty much, this is about two best friends in college who always wanted to save up money to go on this trip to Paris. But life happens and they end up getting involved and married to, two guys. And then 20 years later, they end up in divorce, but they always stayed friends with each other. And they end up having children and end up being single moms. So you have Jenna, who is a mom of two, of Paul and Allie. And then you have Maureen, who is, the mother to her daughter, which is Victoria. So, in having the mommy life, you learn things along the way of, being single and trying to raise your kids, trying to provide, trying to protect your kids. So you have Jenna, who is very protective over her kids. And Allie is her baby girl. She's on her way to college. So is Paul. So she thinks. And so, she's just trying to make sure that they go to college, get a good career, and pretty much don't struggle like herself. And then you have Marion, who has a daughter named Victoria. Now, Victoria has a career and she also has a husband at this point, and she is also pregnant. But the difference between the two best friends is Marion's daughter, Victoria. They more like best friends. Marion always there for her mother. Her mother always confiding in her about things about life. And she always trying to get her mother to not to be uptight and just tell her like it is type, daughter. And her mother always listens to her because she, know best, right? And know her best. And so you have Jenna, who's always protective over her kids. And since her daughter, she's so focused on her baby girl that she also forgetting her oldest son, which is Paul. He's the oldest one. And, she thinks Paul is, the child that always does, everything right. And then you have Allie, who she's trying to keep perfect. But Allie is, she's, living the life of a college student, and she's spreading her wings and, becoming into her own. She's partying, she's, drinking and getting tattoos and all this stuff. And her mother trying to slow her down because it's like, no, this is not how I raised you, and I brought you up. So now the kids are out of the nest, and so the two best friends decided to, hey, let's go to Paris like we always wanted. I mean, it's overdue, but life makes its turn, and they haven't been, they've tried to date throughout the years, and it didn't go so well. But life, happens, and so you have Jenna, who is a nurse and at a hospital, and her mother had ended up, hurting her hip. And she needed to, have surgery done. And that's when she ended up meeting Dr. Rowan. And he's a surgeon. And, she was kind of skeptical of, getting involved with, a surgeon because of her ex. But he was the type that like, hey, I'm not going to force you. But I have been looking at you from afar. And it was like, hey, you could either, take what I'm trying to give to you, and I'm not going to pressure you. And I think that's what drew her to him, like, oh, but it's something about you. I can leave you alone, but it's something about you that bringing something out of me. So, and then you have Marion, who is, she's a librarian, and she has this regular guy. He's a construction worker named Logan, comes in every Monday, always asking her for a recommendation of books. And he's very sarcastic, and he kind of, he, sarcastic, and he kind of brings things out of her, like she's kind of uptight. She's a perfectionist, and so her run-ins with men's, she kind of guarded in a sense, like, she has to be in control. So he was like, do you have to always be right? I know I'm not your typical guy. He's the type of guy that, hey, I like to go to a bar and drink beer. He kind of put you in mind like Chip Gaines, as she would say. And so along the way, both ladies learn the challenges and, life lessons, and, just to relax and give love a chance. Because what you feeling right now is something happening. And so the ladies at the end, they end up going to Paris, as well as some other, twists and turns in their story with finding love. So I'm so excited, y'all. Okay, this book, oh my God, this is A Walk Along the Beach. This is my very first time I ever gave a book a 5, because it's where this book had took me through so many emotions. I was like, and then I was like, laughing a little bit, and then it had me crying and a lot, but it had the love story. Okay, I don't even know where to begin, but I'm just going to begin, y'all. Okay, you have 3 siblings. You have Lucas, which is the eldest. You have Willa, which is the middle one. And then you have Harper, which is the baby. Okay, they are the Lakins, right? And then, their mom passed, but they still, is looking out for dad. Dad having a hard time and everything. So, while their dad going through a hard time, it was just the girls, holding it down. And while their brother Lucas in the military doing his thing, but things had turned because Harper had got cancer, and it turned everybody's life upside down. So this would happen during those 3 years of her having cancer. Her sister had to take over, which is Willa. She had to take over as though like she was the eldest. So it was some money that was inherited, and she ended up getting a small business at at a coffee shop slash, baking goods. And then she got a small apartment for her and her sister. And at this point, her daddy is living on his own and kind of isolated himself from them and everything. Then at this point, her brother ended up moving back, into town to help with Harper. So now at this point, he is engaged to his soon-to-be wife, named Chantel. And this is why I feel like Willa was so relatable, because she just wasn't a sister. She was a mom figure to a baby sister. She just wasn't a daughter. She was everyone's rock. So when she met Sean at her coffee shop, he was a regular coming in. And so one day he just found the courage, like, hey, I'm going to go for it. And she ended up saying yes. So Sean made her feel like, it was somebody out there for just her, and he, and it happened so quick. They ended up dating very shortly, and, eventually he asked her to be her girlfriend. But with dating and, going out with each other, of course, with like any relationship, you have challenges, along the way. Their challenge was, was his job. His job had him in and out. So she was beginning to feel like, man, you got me, thinking that you want this, and it's like you don't even have time for this. So even though she also had to put in mind, okay, let me sacrifice with him having a job, but what he didn't know is communication when you're out of town and all this here to make things work. And so, she proven to him that she can be there for him, not only understanding, his work, but also, he had gotten sick and nourishing back to health. And so he began to see a different side. Like, I knew it was something about this woman. But when it came to her, even though she, was very important to him, he actually loved her. But it was like, but you're not showing up enough in this. And especially when she found out that Harper, had cancer again. Now, in this, I could relate to, about being Harper because, her situation with the cancer. And so basically, she was on her deathbed and, she wanted to talk to Willa, and her dad told Willa to it's okay to tell your sister to let go. And I felt that on so many levels, and it's, and so she talked with her sister Harper, and Harper was saying, that she was sorry. She said, I wanted to live, longer for you. I tried. And that what got me. I was like, oh my God. But she eventually, Harper had let go and she had passed. So during this time, it did, Willa was pretty much checked out. Like, this is what she feared. And so she tried to end the relationship with Sean because, he didn't get it, and when he did get it, it was too late. And so, he's trying to reach out to her, and she was like, this is not going to work out because it's like, no. But he didn't give up on her, and that's one thing I liked. And so he started reaching out to family members, anybody, hey, have you heard from Willa? Have you seen her? And so he finally contacted her dad, and her dad he was like, what should I do? He said, I haven't seen you much. He was like, yeah, but I'm trying to say, well, how do I get her? He said, you haven't been around much. So he was like, he said, don't worry about, my daughter. She's going to come around. And it's so relatable. She's going to come around. She's being stubborn. But you haven't been here much, And so that sunk in like, yeah, I haven't been here much. So let me show my face. Let me show her. Let me reassure her that I will be here for her, not just her, just being here for me. And that would happen. So along the way, like I said, it's still some more to the story. It's, a lot of twists and turns, but it's how their love story had, started and how it ended. And because of Harper began to pass, it was how the family came together and how, people getting things right. And it's just a beautiful book. You laugh, you cry, you got a little upset here and there, and it's so relatable. I would recommend this to anybody, check it out, read it. I would actually read this again, and I haven't felt like this about a book, before. And yeah, this is a 5-star. So, all right, you guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'm not for sure if this is, I don't think so. This is like her new releases, but it's more up-to-date ones, But, yeah, so I will see you guys on the next video.